Welcome into this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio this afternoon, just after 1 o'clock. As we are getting going today, we will look at some NCAA Tournament brackets. We will talk about that essentially close games and good games. It's kind of meshed together a little bit when it comes to March Madness. Close games equal good games this time of the year because everything is gambling and television.
Yes.
What maybe other sports can do to be a little better at some of that and more with baseball, softball, and the like. So we'll do that. We'll talk some baseball, some other stuff today. I don't know, whatever. It's one of those organic shows. We use the word organic, which means no prep. That is the term that sounds better. The PR version of whatever that booster term was yesterday that Indiana used to pay off Archie Miller.
Philanthropic.
What was the second word?
Philanthropic. I
don't remember what the
voluntary philanthropic gifting,
something
or fundraising, or something
like that.
It's philanthropic.
It was philanthropic was the one I remember. I don't remember the rest of it. So anyway. Hope you guys in the stream enjoy it. We'll get going. I don't know. I'm all over the place today. I don't know. I'm not even really scatterbrained. I'm not even really doing anything. I'm just kind of thrown off a little bit today. Anyway, podcast brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download the Speed Pass Plus app. Take advantage of that. You can. I think my camera is frozen.
Oh, is it?
That's better now. Okay, it did. Okay.
Okay.
You can take advantage of that. You can earn points and save money there with the Oxford Exxon. All Blue Sky locations in Mississippi have that. Or if you're here local, you can get the lunch specials for $5.69, 2 sides bread, 32-ounce drink. Hang out inside. Go check out the hot case, pork, chicken, side items, and more. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. Shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. I normally drive the F-150, but today I had Laura's Explorer because I went to clean it up. She and Caroline and some friends are going on a senior trip tomorrow.
Where are they going?
They're going to Nashville, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I know. I don't know why I said I think. They're going to Nashville. I don't know. Well, I don't know if they're going to Nashville or Franklin or what they're doing.
That part of Tennessee is enough.
That general area.
Okay.
So, anyway, getting her car cleaned up. That Explorer's got some giddy up. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, 662-257-1900 is that number if you want to talk to Corey about getting one of your own. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Perfect place this week to watch the NCAA Tournament, watch Ole Miss baseball. This weekend, SEC play set to begin on Friday against Alabama. And the tournament all weekend, there's NIT basketball. Ole Miss and Louisiana Tech on Friday night from Frisco, Texas. There's the women's NIT. Chase working on a story about the 10 reasons that the Ole Miss women's team should win the NIT.
Took
the WNIT.
2 minutes and 18 seconds.
I'm sorry. So anyway, all that you can watch all of that at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. They also have a location in New Albany.
Anyway, whatever. No, what else? I don't know. Baseball plays 6 o'clock tonight. Louisiana Tech and Ruston. There's
Is it
like
6 or 6:30?
I thought it was 6.
I don't know.
Either way, whatever. There's like a CUSA TV. I'll find the link. I'll put it on the board. If you'd like to pay for it, you can to watch the Bulldogs and the Rebels tonight from the Love Shack there in Ruston.
The brand new Love Shack.
What's the name of the actual park? Who's it named after?
JC Love, which is their huge construction firm in Ruston. The Loves give a ton of money to Louisiana Tech, and then I think it's still Pat Patterson Field.
Is it
the former coach?
He died. We looked that up with Kellum that day.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I'm not sure what exactly.
Something was weird there.
Yeah,
something transpired. So anyway.
He was always a very nice man. He was we went to the same church together. And
Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was telling Mike Bianco yesterday for a story that I'm working on that should run sometime tomorrow. I would think. I've probably been to that. Probably went to Pat Patterson's baseball camp. I'd guess 10 times.
Really?
I'd go multiple times in the summer.
Okay. Why not? It's right there.
It's baseball camp.
Yeah, sure.
You get to play baseball, and you got to watch. We watched movies, watched like baseball, This Week in Baseball, and stuff like that. It was just fun.
Who was the This Week in Baseball announcer? Mel
Allen. Mel Allen.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of have a little bit of memory of that.
I loved that show.
I don't know what I was going to tell you yesterday. And I mean, maybe some other seam heads will find this interesting. Maybe not. I don't know. But either way, you have a lot of time. This place you plays into it. You have a lot of time to kill in a baseball press box. These games last a while.
They do.
And I got a little bored on Sunday, and Nick Suss from Clarion Ledger and I were talking, and I feel like I know baseball, but Nick honestly has like this sickness where from a stat standpoint, I can just screw with him all day, and he can tell me things, and we'll play games and make him guess. I mean, he would stump the Schwab every time from a baseball standpoint, from a stat standpoint. And we were discussing something about, I guess somebody said about an Ole Miss or the worst they were playing. It was on Sunday because they were played so bad. And I said, well, they went 6-24 in 1998 in the league. There have been worse days out here, just kind of making a joke. But we were discussing that was the live ball era for college baseball. So a team went 6-24 in the league that hit like 360 as a team or some crap, like because everybody's hitting, and we were talking about ERAs and whatnot.
Well, they were using those bats that were
the -5 bats.
Yeah.
You're swinging 32-27s, 33-28s. I mean, rocket launchers of bats.
Yes, it wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe at all. Lucky no one died, or at least more people didn't die, or whatever happened there.
I was a victim of one of those bats.
Not good.
It was not a happy day.
And it wasn't tons of D1 kids hitting the ball at you all day long.
No, it was just a really big kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was big.
So somehow that morphed into discussing pitching seasons, whatever, in Major League Baseball. In 2000, height of the steroid era, height of offensive juggernauts, we all know Pedro had that crazy year in 2000 where he got the whatever. But you look at it from like an advanced stat standpoint or just a normal stat standpoint. His ERA plus, which for any stat head, let me be as specific as possible. So your ERA plus is 100 if you're an exactly average pitcher in Major League Baseball. Not bad, average, whatever the average is. Typically, you win Cy Young's 160, 165, meaning for every point, you're another percentage better than average, so 65% better. Pedro, that year, 291 was his ERA plus. So the Cy Young Award in 2000 in the American League, the ERA is for the top four. Fourth place, Andy Pettit, 4.35.
Oh, my God, really?
4.35 finished fourth for the Cy Young in 2000. Number 3, David Wells, 4.11. Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Tim Hudson, the runner-up for the Oakland A's at the time, not an Atlanta Brave.
Right.
4.14 was the runner-up for the Cy Young. Pedro, 1.74 in 2000.
It's remarkable.
It defies logic, is what it does. Like, we were looking this up going, oh, my God.
Well, he was able to throw 4 pitches for pinpoint strikes. You literally, no matter how good of a hitter you were guessing. Probably the greatest changeup of all time.
That's fair. And he did it kind of in 99 too, but 2000 is the one where it's really like, whoa.
What's interesting is to go back and watch videos of other great pitchers watching Pedro pitch and to watch them kind of get awestruck.
By seeing what?
Well, just like, whoa, look at that. And when you hear hitters talk about facing Pedro during that period of his career.
Yeah. Someone who does a lot of that, Rob Friedman, Wes Burton, Ole Miss pitcher, on with Pitching Ninja podcast available today if you'd like to do that. I think it's like 45 minutes I saw just from the tweet mentioned there. So
I was telling you before we got started, I've been on Friedman for a while. I love Pitching Ninja.
We've talked about him for almost 2 years probably
I think
now.
He's great. He's number one, he's great for baseball, period. Number 2, he's doing college baseball a big favor and kind of opening eyes to college baseball, which leads to where I'm going with this. Now college baseball has to take that opening and do something with it. Like, Friedman's making your game fun.
Yes.
He's making some of the personalities of your game, and Wes Burton's one of them with all the talking crazy and stuff. He's one of those personalities. He's introduced you not only to, hey, Jack Leiter, the pitcher, and Kumar Rocker, the pitcher, but the people.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to know the people, and he does the deal with the kid at Mississippi State who goes nuts, yells at the other team and stuff. He talks about him. He does stuff. He points stuff out. But now college baseball has to go, okay, we have a little bit of an opening here. Let's follow the market. I'm curious to see how they, or if they're able to go about doing that, because Friedman is sort of showing people a little bit of how you can make the game entertaining, how you can make the game interesting to people who aren't, because this is the key. If you're an Ole Miss fan and you live around here and you can go to games, well, yeah, you're a fan. You get to go to the games. It's 77 degrees. You're talking to your buddies. You pop a beer. You have some peanuts. You don't really care that the game drags on for 4 hours and 6 minutes. But but that's not how you grow the sport. You grow the sport by making it an attractive TV product.
You make it an attractive TV product, and you do it. Here's the thing, too, and this has been mismanaged for a really long time, which is you make it a good TV product in and of itself. You know, forever they try to go, oh, we're going to show you this is tomorrow's pros. No, it takes too damn long to get them to the major leagues.
Right.
That association doesn't work other than, hey, this guy might have played here or whatever. You can go backwards, but you can't go forwards with it.
It's not like Cade Cunningham this week where you're going to watch Oklahoma State and go, Cade Cunningham's going to be playing for somebody next year as the starting point guard / point forward for the whoever's.
I mean, Kumar Rocker, even if he's fast-tracked, it could be 2 years.
Of course.
I don't know. So you can't automatically go, hey, well, if the Cubs take him, we're winning the World Series next year.
Who was the kid from Auburn that we talked to?
Casey Mize.
Casey Mize, thanks. Casey Mize made it to the bigs last year.
Yeah.
So it took 2 years, and that's fast.
Mm-hmm.
And some of his got expedited because of the pandemic. They're
to
hell with it, go pitch.
The kid at Tennessee from Mississippi was the quickest guy to get up last year, and that is so uncommon that's why it was a story. Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
So the point is, you got to make it a product in itself. That's what Friedman's doing a good job of. Hey, these are personalities, these are talented kids. But the pace is so freaking bad right now. And it's getting worse, frankly, for a couple different reasons. You were asking your mailbag, I guess it'll come out tomorrow, about replay. The replay system, it works, I guess, but it is so slow and it's convoluted.
It's laborious.
The inning depends on what can be reviewed. Like, it's complicated. You have to have even I have to have a sheet in front of me to remember what all can be reviewed when and what can't, and who can do it. Umpire versus coach versus whatever. I told Neal this, and now this will never happen. This is just me talking. I would move to 3 umpires on the field instead of 4, and I would put an umpire in the booth, in the room, whatever, and make him a replay official. Whereas when it gets to a replay, that person looks at the 3 angles, and then just relays it back to the plate. And we're not, hey, let's go to the dugout. Let's get the monitor out. Let's walk back and tell the other 2 umpires what we decided. Then let's do this.
It's too long.
Literally, replays are taking 5 minutes.
Yeah. Here's the rule of thumb. If it feels slow at the stadium, in person, then on television it's eternity. And if people
that's true.
If people flip the channel, and I've talked to TV people about this, they'll tell you this, that if it feels like, hey, this is taking too long for the people at the stadium, you're losing viewers. They're flipping. And they're not coming back unless they're actively engaged. You don't grow the sport through active engagement. You grow the sport through casual fans.
Mm-hmm. Passive.
Yeah. The guy who's sitting there on a Sunday afternoon and he's flipping his channel. So he's got the last round of a golf tournament. He probably has some NBA game at his disposal. He might, by this point, have a couple of major league games at his disposal. And you're trying to keep him on a Ole Miss, Alabama baseball game. Well, how do you do that? It's got to keep moving. If it drags, he flips. Well, maybe he gets into Bryson DeChambeau making a run. Well, he's not ever coming back, so you lost those eyeballs.
You can get him because there is a little momentum and because he recognizes the names on the jerseys. But you got to keep him. He's more likely to at least put you on because it's Ole Miss and Arkansas and State and Alabama or whatever. But because here's the deal too. Forget even replay. Like, replay, even to some extent, is excusable.
Sure.
The pitchers are too slow.
Yes.
The pitcher's pace is the problem here.
So what got us on this topic, just so
Yeah.
y'all know, well, we were talking about something else that we won't repeat here. But
Yeah, no, not today.
but I was telling
We'll need a pirate ship like Corolla before we go too far down that.
I was telling Chase that, and you guys don't know this, but on Mondays and Wednesdays, Carson has soccer. And I take Carson to soccer. I drop him off. I run to my gym, and I hop on the treadmill, and I do my training runs. And they're about 50-minute runs on midweek.
Sure.
And 2 weeks ago, I was watching it was Auburn, South Alabama baseball. Now, am I actively interested in either Auburn or South Alabama baseball? No, I'm not. But I used to cover Auburn. I used to live in Mobile, so there's passive interest. It was on. There was nothing else on. I needed something to distract me. I ran essentially an hour, Chase, and I think they played 2 innings. Because I asked you the next day, hey, who won that game?
Yeah.
It was dragged. It just dragged and it dragged and it dragged and it dragged. And I think when I left it, it was like 3-2. It wasn't even they weren't even scoring. It was just, yeah, it's fine. Kid for South Alabama had hit a home run. I remember that. Auburn had like an RBI double, but it was just pitchers throw a pitch, 47 seconds later, throw another pitch. Well, yesterday, I go to do a run, drop Carson off. I've got about an hour before I have to go back and get him because he went from soccer to basketball, and I was the transition for him, obviously, because he's not old enough to drive yet. And it's softball. And initially I said, I'm going to flip and find something else. But I knew the tournament hasn't started yet. There's nothing else on. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. Whatever.
This is Ole Miss State last
Ole
night.
Miss, Mississippi State softball. Literally, as I began my run, the girls for Ole Miss were doing their little
To take the field.
the pregame dance that they do.
Yeah.
And then they played. And I think they played 4 innings in my 50-something minute run. It was fast. It moved.
It's fast.
Do I care? No, I don't care. I mean, it's fine, whatever. I mean, but it was entertaining. Here's the truth.
It's watchable.
On television, shoot me down. On television, if you don't have an active rooting interest, the softball's a better TV product.
Yeah, if you drop the alien down and said you just get to pick one of these things and know nothing, softball is a more watchable product.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
And Chase knows this because I get people go, why do you hate baseball? I don't hate baseball at all. I watch tons of baseball. I love Major League Baseball. I like college baseball. I watch Vanderbilt because I like to watch the 2 pitchers.
Well, you and I are not the demographic they're trying to grab.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
But man, oh man, it's hard to talk me into, hey, 4 hours and 9 minutes from now, this game's going to end. Well, you know what? Holler at me when they get to the 8th.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We'll continue this conversation in 1 second, but I'll tell you about Northeast Spark. Service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite 100 Mbps or the Blaze, the 1 gig that operates the Clark Ford Studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone services available as well as parental controls, network security, and more. New neighborhoods by the day and by the week going up in Oxford. So find out if it is something for you. And if so, make a call, 662-238-3159.
We're also brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylists hand-select pieces from top designers, work, lifestyle, nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. It's 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or at therogue.com. We are also brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best-fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. They've been advertising with us for more than 2 years. We've always directed you to DM them to set up a time to get measured. But now, whether you are coming to Oxford or not, you can visit BlueDeltaJeans.com to get measured by their new virtual tailor and design your very own jeans. And just for our podcast listeners, you can enter the discount code Rebel Grove. That's all lowercase, one word, at checkout. Take 10% off your order. They're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. You will love them as well. And we're brought to you by Alpha Specialties. Alpha Specialties at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. It's your trailer-specific professional. If you want to haul it, they can call it. Alpha is the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. They've got Load Trail, which is the premium brand trailer, highest quality utility equipment dump, and Gooseneck trailers being built today. They also have Hallmark cargo trailers, one of the most quality cargo trailers on the market, perfect for hauling goods to markets and shows, ATVs to deer camps, and more. So give them a call, 601-932-9798, or check them out at alphaofms.com. And we're brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. Bain, Moss & Bowen's the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or by calling them at 662-287-1620.
Podcast is brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page. See everything going on locally each day and week, including this weekend. In addition to Auburn and Ole Miss baseball, the double-decker bus tours, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, leaving from Visit Oxford there on the square. You can make reservations for that through the website, as well as on Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m., the Tunes Around Town, 3 different locations set up for music. You can get some food, get some ice cream, yogurt, or whatnot, and walk around and enjoy the music, as well as some upcoming pop-up Oxford Spring Edition news to you soon, Oxford Film Festival going on as well. So again, those things and more, visit oxfordms.com/events. Yeah, look, softball is very watchable. In some ways, it's what helps March Madness, because basketball is going to be about a 2-hour game, and the last 15 minutes of like real time is going to be kind of close in a close game, and you can.
That's why they stagger the tips. They stagger the tips so you can watch the ends.
Yeah, it's not so. Hey, the halftime marks are going to be different from one another.
No,
they're not doing you favors on that side.
No, they're trying to get it where at 1:30 to 2 o'clock, those first games are ending, but not at the same time.
Yeah,
because the moments that everyone remembers are the last shots. Nobody ever talks about, man, that shot that put Valpo up 8-4. That sure was something. Talk about the last one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They call it Pacer. Isn't that the name of the play?
I think so.
Pacer.
A really poorly coached play defensively.
In several ways.
So many ways.
I mean, I've always wanted Keith to like break it down, but I just have a hard time asking him. Like, I can't make myself go. So, yeah. You want to talk about it? Baseball. This is up to the pitchers. It's up to the coaches. Non-conference, you've also got the problems of the coaches calling in the signs, because the catcher has to watch the coach, get the sign, relay the sign to the pitcher, and then we go through the whole deal and back and forth. At least in league play, you have the microphones, and that allows them to sidestep some of the watching for the signs. It's still coming from the dugout, but it does expedite it a little bit. But, look, pitchers have got to pitch with pace, and I don't know if it's something that's not being taught. Jack Leiter talked about it. It was something he tries to really work on and keep up as pace as it pertains to staying in the game when he was on with Friedman. But you'll see a lot of pitchers, they get the ball, they walk around the mound. They just kind of talk to themselves for a minute. And I don't mean like Wes Burton way. I mean just kind of calming themselves down.
Sure.
It's what is killing the college game from a slowdown standpoint. It's all about the pitching. It's so many throwovers to first base when somebody gets on base. It's worrying about runners like crazy. And now some of it's because they're not pros. Some of it is they are. It's like in football. I get that we need to speed the football game up too, but some of the reason is the college quarterbacks would have a really hard time handling the pro clock in the last 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes. It would frazzle them to the point that they need that extra little bit of whatever. But no, pitchers, you look at the best pitchers out there, they pitch with pace, and it's keeping everybody in the game. It's them staying locked in, and those are the games that are going a little bit quicker here. It is coach to pitcher communication and pitchers themselves that are adding 20 minutes to baseball games right now, if nothing else.
Absolutely. Well, like Brett here says, longer the game, more beer you can sell. Yeah,
at the game, not a problem.
But we're talking about the TV. You grow it by TV. College basketball back in the day grew because ESPN started televising those Big East games. Mm-hmm. And suddenly people like me who grew up in Ruston, Louisiana, I knew who the coach at St. John's was. I knew who the coach at Villanova was. I knew about Derek Coleman and Pearl Washington and players like that at Syracuse.
Sure.
They grew the sport that way. If you want to grow college baseball, you've got to make people in Syracuse, New York, interested in who's playing for LSU.
Baseball team?
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hill, whatever.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you've got to make them go, hey, I'm going to, I tell you what, that Maneri guy. Or,
yeah, sure.
You've got to make them be able to tell you, they have to be able to, you would know the sport is successful if you said Kumar Rocker and some guy in Albany, New York said, oh, yeah, that's that pitcher at Vanderbilt. Because that's how you grew college basketball back in the day. Proof that it's not growing anymore. Now a kid from Ruston, Louisiana, if you say, who plays for St. John's? I have no idea.
Not a clue.
Who's the coach at St. John's? It's not Carnesecca anymore, right? I mean, it's a great, in my opinion, it's a great analogy. Not only did I know who John Thompson was when I was a kid in Ruston, not only did I know who Patrick Ewing was, I knew who David Wingate was. I knew who the guards were. I could still name players on Syracuse teams. I mean, on Georgetown teams. Can't do that anymore. I know Patrick Ewing's the coach at Georgetown now. I couldn't name a player.
Do you know who the head coach is at St. John's? Someone you know, actually.
It's not Chris Mullen, is it?
No. You've covered this person for a long time in the SEC.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know this either. I looked it up.
I don't know.
He was a head coach in the SEC from, well.
Oh, Mike Anderson was at St.
Anderson.
John's. Okay,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I was going to say Missouri and Arkansas, but Missouri would have been in the Big 12 the majority of his time as a head coach.
How about that?
Yeah. Actually, the whole time. He took the job at Arkansas in 2011. He was at Arkansas from 11 to 19.
He was there for like 9 years.
I didn't remember him being there that long.
Yeah. Yeah, never could kind of get them over the tournament hump.
From Birmingham.
Yeah. He was on Nolan Richardson's staff for a while, right?
He was an assistant at Arkansas for not just a little while, from a long time. 85 to 02. 17 years.
Okay.
And then he was the interim head coach in 02. Would that have been when Richardson was fired? No, Richardson wasn't there till 02.
Was he not?
Was he? Was it
I think
on?
he was.
Okay. So he was the interim, and then he was the head coach at UAB that I remember, too, from 02.
Was at
02,
UAB for a
06.
while? Yeah.
He got the Mizzou job from there.
Okay. Left Mizzou to go to Arkansas, and then when
Correct.
Arkansas fired him, he got the St. John's job.
That is correct. Yes, that is. Did a good job at UAB.
Yeah.
Did a really good job. Made the Sweet 16 in 2004.
Seems like I remember that.
Made an Elite 8 at Missouri. They were really good. They were 31-7 in 09.
He never took Arkansas past the second round, right?
That is correct. NIT second round, round of 32, round of 32, NIT second round, round of 64.
He had some good teams at Arkansas. They just never could kind of get over the.
Had two really big disappointments. I mean, he had a team at Arkansas that went 27-9 in 15, 13-5 in the league, and got beat in the round of 32.
Yeah.
And then he had a 26-10, 12-6 team that also got beat in the round of 32.
I'm curious to see what Musselman's team does. They've got a 3 seed. They should be a second weekend team. They have a funny feel to them.
In a bad way?
Just a weird way. I think I'm not this is going to sound crazy. I'm not a giant fan of a team that's not great going on super long winning streaks.
So
I think a team,
Gonzaga's different because
they're great.
Yeah, sure.
Gonzaga has 2 top 10 draft picks.
I mean, they are the prohibitive favorite to win the
They're a
tournament.
terrific team.
Sure.
I have a problem with a team that's not great getting obsessed with a winning streak, where the winning streak becomes emotional.
But now it got killed.
It did,
Yeah.
and it might help them. But if you go back, and I told you this, going back the last couple weeks of the season, they flirted with losses against bad teams. No, they won on Friday against Missouri in Nashville and actually played okay. But I thought they were awfully flat Saturday. And again, they may not have cared. But it felt like a couple of times watching their game Saturday against LSU, they tried to hit the button and just the car didn't start. I worry a little bit about them if I'm them. Because you're going to play a Colgate team that's going to be playing the Super Bowl of Super Bowls, and they go fast. and they can build a lead on you quick. Can you hit that button?
What is Colgate's record? Like, what does their year look like?
I'm not even sure. Their net's like 10 or 9 or something
yeah, I
insane.
saw that. Which, that's the thing. Like, how have they played good enough teams to make that a case?
Alan Cockrell says Arkansas has a top 10, 15 pick. They do. Moses Moody's going to go 12th, 13th in the draft.
You know Colgate's mascot? I would have gotten this wrong, actually.
The Bulldogs.
No.
I
would have had no chance.
Okay, I don't know.
The Raiders.
Colgate Raiders.
I would know.
Wow.
You could have given me. It could have been multiple choice and said, what's the one it's not? And that would have been what I said.
Where is Colgate located?
I thought it was. Is it not New York?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. You know, we show our idiocy sometimes, like when we do this kind of stuff, because like it's Madison County, New York. Okay, I was right. It's a little worried, but I thought it was New York.
Is that New York City somewhere, or is that upstate?
Let's see, Hamilton, New York. Where is Hamilton, New York? This is what you get on our podcast. Sorry, people. It's like directly in the middle of the state. It's a village.
Okay.
It is 40 miles southeast of Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
And 30 miles southwest of Utica.
So probably kind of in farmland.
Yeah. Oh, it's rural. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct. You had no idea?
No, I didn't. I knew nothing about Colgate.
Yeah, central upstate New York, but kind of like in the middle when you look at the whole.
It's gorgeous land up there.
Looks great. Ken Austin coached at Cornell, not Colgate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Close.
We drove from Syracuse to Cooperstown.
Okay.
And it was beautiful.
So, anyway. Colgate. Let's see. They play their losses. They only have one loss. They lost to Army at home, 75-73. But yeah, there's nothing on this schedule that.
Alan says the only teams they've played are Army, Boston U, and Holy Cross.
I guess the only like competitive teams. I mean, they've played more teams, but
right.
yes.
But he means that's the good.
Well, frankly, though, they haven't played many more because they played Army twice in a row, BU twice in a row, Holy Cross twice in a row, Bucknell twice in a row, Holy Cross again twice in a row, BU twice, Army twice, BU 3 times in a row, Bucknell, and then Loyola, Maryland.
Well, how the hell do they have a net of 9?
I don't know. I'm telling you, that's their schedule.
That's it?
That's their whole freaking schedule. So did Arkansas get robbed? It doesn't feel like it.
Now, who's Arkansas get if they win that game?
I have the bracket up here. What is Arkansas? What seed?
They're the 3.
They're at 3. All right. Texas Tech or Utah State.
Oh.
6-11.
That'll be a good Texas Tech, Utah State will actually be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm trying to figure out from a net standpoint who they've played. So, and I'm not going to do this long. The Nets Colgate has played 119, 176, 204,
Alan
212, 151.
Alan says the Bucknell games got canceled.
I've got them beating Bucknell. Sorry, that was in the tournament when they played Bucknell.
Okay.
Yeah. They beat Bucknell 105-75 in the semifinals of the Patriot League.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, there are some regular season games that did not happen. However, they still played that team later on. Then, Loyola, Maryland. But, I mean, did they play anyone with a winning record? Army is the only team they played all season with a winning record, and Army went 11-9.
Yeah, I don't understand the net.
That's literally it. Well, I don't know. They played no quad 1 games.
Okay.
2-0 quad 2.
Okay.
6-1 quad 3, 6-0 quad 4.
Oh, okay. But 9th?
I'm agreeing. I don't know. And look, the quad 1 games, the quad 2 games are flimsy as hell. That's just that road game against the top 150 or whatever it is. Like,
yeah, come on.
Yeah. They didn't go to Baylor. I mean, like, there's some stuff here. But
whatever.
I mean, I'm interested, though. I'm intrigued by the game now.
Sure.
I mean, I'm in.
That's a Friday around noon game?
I have no idea.
Okay, I think that's right.
Yeah, I don't have schedules on the thing I have in front of me. Crazy. I don't know. We'll look at the bracket in a second. Before we do, I'll tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. You can get your underwriting and processing done locally in Memphis, or you're getting underwriting understands your market. Also a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. They also have a commercial checking account now paying 1% interest as long as you keep $10,000 in the account. It comes with fully interactive online banking. To learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we are brought to you by our friends at Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust based in Madison, Mississippi. It's also home to the Pinnacle Trust 401k Advisory Services team. They can conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. You'll get 10% off of your first year's fees. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling this summer, maybe you are thinking about doing something extravagant over the holidays, whatever the case may be, get in touch with John. All you got to do is give him some parameters, give him a budget. You don't have to have, you don't have to live in or near Memphis. You don't have to do anything after you do that. Just get in touch with him. Give him some ideas, and then sit back, and he will give you options that you will not find on your own. 901-494-3387, or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast.
Not exactly big-time analysis. Everybody else saying this too. Gonzaga got a really nice draw in their bracket. They absolutely got the number one overall seed draw.
Oh, they should. They're the best team.
They would get potentially Missouri in a second-round game. If Missouri got past Oklahoma, that's an 8-9 game with the winner getting the Bulldogs.
I've watched both of those teams play, and I don't think either one can beat Gonzaga.
Hard to see that.
Just difficult to see it.
After that, they would run into someone from the quad of Creighton at UC Santa Barbara and Virginia at Virginia, Ohio, or Creighton, UC Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara's 22-4, but yeah, no chance. See nothing there that would stick out. I mean, I guess if you're Gonzaga, you probably don't want to play Virginia. I mean, just if you would like an upset there, but I see no way Virginia beats Gonzaga either. And then on the bottom half of the bracket, Iowa is their number 2 seed at 21-8. Iowa getting the 2 seed with 8 losses. Kansas at 20-8, but they're whatever they are. There's nothing there.
No.
There's just really not.
They have a uniform that says respect us, and you watch them play, and they're fine.
Yeah, they're okay. Blue Bloods had a tough year.
Real tough year.
Bad. Kansas was the most successful of the Blue Bloods.
Calipari was talking a big game last night.
Was he?
Yeah.
What was he talking about?
I'd say people better enjoy it now because we're coming. Okay.
Maybe. Sure.
Yeah, we got a Will Wade problem. For John Calipari, you got to say, hey, if there's no penalty.
Well, now you cook them with gas.
Because we got resources.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yes, indeed. 200,000, you said. Done.
He didn't get told no much on that regard, does he?
What's the price on this kid?
Yeah.
$220? Can you give me 1 minute?
Yeah.
There's no penalty, you say.
I know.
John, be careful. This phone could be recorded. Are you a federal agent? And even if you are. I won't do the rant again, I promise. But it really bothers me. Because it's stupid.
Think Bonaventure can get the Tigers in the first round?
Here's what's interesting. I do think St. Bonaventure can beat LSU. I think analytically, St. Bonaventure is a very dangerous team because they're efficient kind of equally efficient on offense and defense, and LSU is not an efficient defensive team. But LSU played really well in Nashville. They played really well at Columbia, Missouri, right before they went to Nashville. They were right there with Arkansas late in the season in Fayetteville in a game that for a long time I thought LSU would win it. They're playing well. And if they can get through this first game, I think LSU can make a real run because I think LSU can beat Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going to go through that bracket in a second. Bonaventure, LSU, if a team has a gripe, it's LSU because you're running into a really strong 8-9 right there with Bonaventure. I mean, just from an analytics standpoint, 4-2 quad 1, 7-3 quad 1 and 2 combined. Really only one bad loss on the whole schedule. I mean, it's a real schedule here for Bonaventure. I mean, they've had a good year. So no, I agree with you. I think that's a weird game for the Tigers. They lost to Dayton, by the way. Bonaventure did.
LSU's a weird team. We've talked about that.
They could be schizophrenic.
But I watched what they did in the tournament. They played a Ole Miss team that was playing incredibly high level, and they held them off. They played an Arkansas team that had not lost in the league since the middle of January and popped them. And then they went blow for blow. I mean, that was a
with Bama,
Ali Foreman type of fight with Alabama. That the ball's rolling around on the rim at the buzzer. I mean, we were just a little bit of physics different from Will Wade being the one telling people to get the F out of here. Yeah, so
you have to feel like maybe Karma kicked the ball off the rim. Just a little help there.
I was really happy for my friend Chris Stewart. I had a text conversation with Chris today about calling that game. He's great.
Is he doing okay?
Got really fortunate.
Okay.
Got really fortunate that the stroke did not
impede
impact his ability to communicate.
Yeah.
He had a great call, and I was actually thinking about Chris because you weren't watching that game.
No.
You were covering baseball, but that game was fast. That game was back and forth. It was fast. The pace was fast. It was intense. And they had the media so that the media wouldn't give everybody COVID. They had the media way up at the top, so you didn't see as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and listened to his calls. They were great.
He was way up there too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned LSU. They would get Michigan in a second-round game. Michigan 20-4 overall. They're the 1 seed in the East bracket. After that, it is a quad of Colorado, Georgetown, Florida State, UNC, Greensboro. Looking for anything else interesting. Alabama is the 2 in that bracket, as you said. There is a path to an Alabama-LSU Elite 8 possibility.
Real possible if LSU can get past.
Because Bama doesn't have anything crazy in its way
No.
to the Sweet 16 for sure. UConn, Maryland waiting on the other side there. And then BYU, Michigan State, who's not a very good team, playing UCLA in the play-in game. And then Texas is the 3 seed, and they're flawed. I mean, Texas is fine. They're good, but they're flawed.
I'd pick Alabama over Texas every time.
I would, too. Wait, Bama 24-6, and a couple of those losses were really early. They've got that loss to Stanford in the first couple weeks of the season, and they weren't jailed. The path is really there for Alabama. Now, LSU needs some help, but...
Yeah, they lost at Missouri, they lost at Arkansas, but they hadn't lost much. They've been really good.
You would have them, if you're doing a bracket, would you have them Elite 8?
I've got Alabama in the Final Four.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got Alabama losing to Gonzaga in the national semifinal.
So you think Michigan loses to LSU?
I do.
Okay.
I actually think we're going to get Alabama-LSU.
Do you really?
And I think it's me cheering.
It is.
I want it. I want it really bad.
I mean, you're like hyper about it.
Well, I know what almost happened.
And you don't think that can be stopped next time?
I don't think they can. Are you going to have that good of a crew that understands the dynamics beforehand, that really gets the dynamics and is there to handle it? I'm going to guess not. And when that thing boils over with a trip to the Final Four on the line, oof.
Do you think it would blow?
Well, I mean, look, at the back of everyone's mind on Sunday, everyone knew, hey, we're playing basketball Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
No matter what. Yeah.
Let's not get suspended.
Yeah, that one carries a little weight.
The loser of the next one's not playing basketball Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
They're going home. Now, after 2 weeks of prepackaged meals like the ones that I saw on the internet, they might want to go home.
What are their meals?
Everything's prepackaged. The players.
It looked like that Fry Fest a little bit.
It was really funny. Like packaged half chicken, packaged. Everything is just so ridiculously over the top.
It's individually like no buffets.
No.
Is it enough food?
Or I guess I don't know. You have to think some of the players are like, come on, man.
What did the NBA bubble do? Was it all individually packaged like that?
Well, it was at first, and then before you know it,
the
teams were bringing their chefs.
Oh, were they?
To cook, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these are multimillionaires.
Had to make some, yeah.
Well, yeah, come on. I mean,
within reason, we'll play.
Oh yeah, you got to think Jimmy Butler after about day 3. He's like, no, hold up. I pay a chef $700,000 a year.
He's coming.
Yeah,
Hey, can we swab him?
Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I'm not eating out of styrofoam.
Yeah.
I make $27 million.
Where's Tennessee going to get upended? Oregon State in the opener, or are they going to get through it?
Is Fulkerson going to play? I think without him, it's hard. He's a big part of their team, stabilizing and does a lot of things. He's a scorer on a team that doesn't have a lot of scorers.
The Sweet 16 team out of that quad is Oklahoma State with Cade Cunningham.
Yes. And if you haven't watched him, you should really watch him.
He's worth the minutes.
I'm madly in love, but I know I'm not. Have
Where's
no
he
chance.
going? I know it's balls.
Whoever has the first pick.
He is the overall first pick?
Without a doubt. The kid at USC, Evan Mobley, is probably going to go second. Jalen Suggs at Gonzaga will go top 5. A couple of G League guys will go 4th, 5th, probably Kuminga and Green. There's another player at Gonzaga that's going to go top 10. We talked about Moses Moody at Arkansas. He'll go high. But, yeah, Cunningham's first pick in the draft. Cunningham draws comparisons to really elite players. Magic Johnson, Luka Doncic, those types of players.
I know they've only lost 3 times, but I'm not overly crazy about Houston. I think like Clemson has a chance to bust that quad of that bracket a little bit there as a 7 seed for the Sweet 16.
Well, some 7's going to do it because they always do. In the same way that some 11's
going to
win.
Well, and look, they could get to the 8 because you look above it, and you're talking San Diego State, Syracuse, West Virginia, and Morehead State. I mean, like, it's...
Grind does not like my bracket with Alabama in it.
He'd like the Tide to get on up out of here.
I'm sure he'd like Alabama to go ahead and get knocked off in that 215. That would probably help him a lot.
He doesn't need 3 weeks of that.
Had a couple of comments. Alan said, saw Arkansas play a series at the new Louisiana Tech Stadium in Ruston. It's nice. Seemed like a great place to watch a game. Yeah, everybody over there is raving about it. They're super excited. I don't blame them. It's a big weekend for Tech to have an SEC team, especially one that was ranked number 1 at the time. Is Arkansas still number 1?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
To have a top-ranked team in there was great for them. It's a shame that it's not 2 games, but it is what it is. The Ole Miss coming in there tonight. And then Callie says, Neal, my husband and I were flipping and stumbled on the Ole Miss State softball game. Before we knew it, we watched the whole thing. You're 100% right. Yep. And you don't have to go as fast as that, but you got to speed up. If you want to make it.
Well, yeah, you can't go as fast as that. That's not doable.
That's not doable, but you can go faster than you're going.
You have to.
Someone in the thread said that AAA baseball is experimenting or is thinking about experimenting with a 15-second pitch clock. Get it? Throw
no one on base.
Yeah, of course.
15 seconds. College is 20.
But it's not enforced.
No.
So, no, it's not 20. I was watching Auburn and South Alabama, and between the pitcher walking off the mound and the hitter stepping out and the hitter stepping back in and the pitcher looking in at the catcher to get signs from the dugout and back and then the hitter stepping back out, there were sometimes 47 seconds between pitches.
Yeah.
I ran 3 miles in a half inning. It's about 26 minutes. Do the math on 26-minute half innings.
5-hour baseball.
It's not how you grow a sport. Not to beat it to death. Just not. You've got to make it move. The parts that don't have action have to move faster. I think everybody understands, hey, bases loaded, 2 outs in the 9th, every pitch has this suspense to it that's going to take a little more time, but that's fun. The viewer's locked in at that point, Chase.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm talking about the second inning, nobody on, nobody out, in a 1-0 game. Let's go. Let's move. I'm not talking about bases loaded, 1 out, 7th inning strategy.
You got a little situation going on.
I'm talking about the 3rd inning when it's 1-1. Let's roll. Let's play. That's the part that drags on. What you described, a 3-2 game in the 6th inning and we're already 2.5 hours in, that's failure.
Yeah, because there is not enough action to warrant that. It's just,
right. I'm not talking about late inning suspense, everybody biting their nails, and you see the people in the stands doing this. I'm not talking about that.
And it would be different if every game's 13-11. Then we'd be talking about that problem.
Sure.
But when it's you said 5-4 and it's 3:28, it's like what happened?
And some of it is college pitching. Mm-hmm. As you get deeper into a staff, you deteriorate.
Even the counts go longer.
That's what I'm saying.
Count is just.
But man, there's got to be a better way to speed the game up on average.
I know. Podcast brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They offer MedSync for your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery to get what you need when you need it. They will handle that as well as delivery. It's free in the Oxford area locally, and they offer Right Way Meds to individually package your medication if that is something you need. It can save a life for the right person. So, again, call, see what they have to offer. They're on South Lamar in Oxford, 662-236-2222.
We taped a soft verbal yesterday. It's brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram, the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. It's goofy weather times. Weather's a big problem tomorrow, which is another subject we'll probably touch on here in a moment. But we want to get your air conditioning ready to go. It's going to get warm here soon. Spring is here. Summer right around the corner because that's how it works, or typically that's what happens. Summer follows spring. That's usually how that works. So you probably ought to start getting ready for it because I'm going to predict now that it will get hot here this summer. So get in touch with the people at Comer Heating and Air, 662-801-1777. Make sure that air conditioning unit is in tip-top shape. Also brought to you by our friends at Muddy Water Camo. Go to muddywateroutdoors.com. Check out the Tri-Zone heated jackets and vest. Check out their caps, all their camo gear as you get ready for the hunting season. Again, muddywateroutdoors.com. Carson and I taped a Chasing the Ring yesterday. We talked NBA for about 40 minutes. You can listen to it on this podcast channel. You can watch it on our YouTube channel. And you should also know that it's brought to you by the people at Lammon's Fine Jewelry. Lammon's at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. It's been serving the Oxford area for 73 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's jewelry, and more. It's lammonsfinejewelry.com or 662-234-2777. And if you're ready to play at M-Trade Park, registration has begun for both youth baseball and softball with the Oxford Park Commission. Cost to play both sports is $50 per player. Leagues available for ages 5 to 14 in softball, 5 to 17 in baseball. This year's season will run May 24th through July the 2nd. The deadline to register is April the 4th. OxfordParkCommission.com to sign up.
Question about why Ole Miss canceled a baseball game because of COVID, but did not cancel both of them. It is only...
They're scared.
Scared? Yeah.
I'm kidding. They're not scared. It had nothing to do with it.
A player tested positive, contact traced a couple other players. They're all pitchers. And because of that, and they already have injuries to Doug Nikhazy and Max Chope. I have no idea if Nikhazy's available or not this weekend. I don't think Mike knows yet. They do not have enough pitchers to make sense to play 2 midweek games on top of the Auburn series. So they are going to play 1 game, and then they will come back home and play the Auburn series. To the best of my knowledge, they are not expecting anyone to be out because of COVID this weekend against the Auburn Tigers. So that's kind of where we are with that. So, weather also playing a huge part of this. Frankly, unless they needed it as a documented reason, I was a little surprised they even mentioned COVID because they easily could have just not played Wednesday because of impending weather in the northern Louisiana area because it looks pretty rough, which could even impact our podcast plans tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll touch on the first one. I'm looking. Here we go. I've got Ruston in my shortcuts because I grew up there. Tonight, high of 68, just a 40% chance of rain, increases to 50% overnight. They wouldn't have played tomorrow anyway in Ruston. High of 76, strong thunderstorms likely, damaging winds, large hail, and possibly a tornado with some storms. High of 76, chance of rain 90%. So they weren't playing anyway. I'm with you. They could have just used weather and said, hey, the weather's crappy.
Mm-hmm. That was the only weird thing.
I'll give Ole Miss credit. They were
transparent.
They were transparent. Tech knew the deal. They understood.
Could happen to anybody right now.
Well, especially that.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it went down.
Yeah.
And then in Oxford tomorrow, so tonight there's a 10% chance of rain early. It increases to 70% over the course of the evening with things starting to increase around 7 o'clock-ish. But really overnight, they're talking about rain. And then tomorrow, strong thunderstorms likely, damaging winds, large hail, and possibly a tornado with some storms. Chance of rain, 90%. Then Wednesday night, thunderstorms, some strong in the evening will give way to partly cloudy skies overnight, damaging winds, large hail, and possibly a tornado with some storms. That's shitty. Low of 48. Chase and I had this conversation earlier. You put the word tornado in my weather forecast, and I get
you were a little jumpy this morning.
I get jumpy. I've seen some models that if you live Macon, Columbus, that area along I-80,
that's the 82.
Highway 82, that you're in the real danger zone. But those things change. But it scares the hell out of me. I'll be honest. So there's a chance that tomorrow, if the weather's really bad, we're not going to do a podcast because it's just going to be me and Carson, and I need to be in a position to move quickly if something happened. Chase has a family too, so he has stuff to do as well. So we'll keep you abreast on that. There's nothing here between now and about 8 o'clock, according to the radar. So it's over.
It's actually pretty nice outside right now.
Yeah, overnight and then in tomorrow.
But tomorrow, their job is to give you a little bit of scare if it's warranted, I guess. But a lot of the meteorological sites are going pretty crazy about tomorrow. Going, hey, it's all the ingredients are there for a pretty rough day. Hail, winds, tornadoes, rain.
Well, I was talking to my buddy Reynolds Wolf of the Weather Channel. It's his birthday. Okay. I said, happy birthday. And then I said, you're not coming this way, are you? And he's like, could be.
Oh.
His exact words. I don't think he'll mind me saying this.
You don't ever want that to be the case.
He says, certainly looks possible for at least damaging winds, heavy rain, possibly tornadoes, and they're thinking of sending me out for coverage. So the Weather Channel is definitely taking it seriously. No offense to Reynolds, but I don't want to see Reynolds anywhere near Oxford tomorrow. Maybe down the road, maybe when Auburn comes to town. Auburn comes here Ole Miss goes there.
Yeah.
Maybe the next time Auburn comes here, I'd love to see Reynolds here, have a drink. He can go to the contest with his family, but I don't want him here during a tornado. That's not a good sign.
That's an unsettling thought that the Weather Channel is contemplating sending someone for a what we hope to be a thunderstorm, but could turn into
worse. Yeah. Well, when they do that deal where they're like, if you live in this area and it's like the big orange ball, and the big orange ball is the entire state that you live in,
that's a problem.
that if that doesn't kind of, send a little shiver up your spine, then nothing does.
Saints signed Jameis Winston to a 1-year contract worth as much as $12 million yesterday. It is something that works for both sides because if it works, you're going to have to really bid on him the next year and spend some money to keep him as your quarterback. But it allows you to cut bait after a year if it doesn't work. And then it also allows him to bet on himself and be in the open market in a year if he can revitalize his career a little bit with the Saints.
Bears got rid of Mitch Trubisky. It's over.
Done. What's the money, though?
I don't know. Our long national nightmares?
Oh, stop.
A lot of talk about Russell Wilson and the Bears.
Yeah.
A lot of talk.
Because even to the point of the Seahawks had admin leaking some things that they would be very interested in Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Should that fall off. So
I don't know what I think about Russell Wilson at this point. He was not very good in the second half of the season in Seattle. And there's no DK Metcalf in Chicago.
No.
Nothing even resembling DK Metcalf.
And Russell's got to have a deep threat. That's his forte.
And they got Allen Robinson. They got players.
Oh, they're okay.
But there's no DK. You think the Seahawks would throw DK in on the deal?
I mean, look, I'm sure they would, but you're gonna have to hand them the keys to the city. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, look, everybody's got a price. They might own the United Center when you're done, but
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll trade you Soldier Field.
yeah, right. I mean, sure. Oh, God.
Georgia Rebel, don't you come on this thread at the end of a day. We're having a nice little show, and you come on here with some cursing. You be careful if the Bears sign Dalton, ...
Oh, God. I mean, dude.
Well, we just got through talking about tornadoes. We'll back this thing off a little.
Good for Mike Hilton. Just told he has signed a 4-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. Per Adam Schefter.
How much guaranteed money to get, do you know?
No money reported yet.
We couldn't be happier for Mike, one of the really good guys. You talk about a guy that Ole Miss Sports Information would throw at us, I don't know, twice a week.
Talk to Mike a lot.
Mike would come in, and he'd look at us, and we'd look at him, and there'd be like these 10 seconds of silence, and somebody would go, so,
can you talk about Kentucky?
How'd it go today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys play Kentucky. Your
Thoughts?
Can you just lie to us and tell us that you've already watched the film and you have some thoughts? The same interview over and over. The one I best remember was Tyrone Nix, and it became a running joke.
Yeah. Was it explosive?
Explosive. We'd ask him about the other quarterback, and it didn't matter if it was Cam Newton or some slow cat at UT Martin. He's explosive. That would be the word he'd use, and we'd all start laughing, and people that would watch the video would not understand why it was that he was laughing about the other quarterback, and we're just having fun with the fact that we don't know why we're doing this every week.
Will Mondays be in person in the fall, do you think?
So we had this conversation on G-Pitch yesterday.
Yeah.
Gabe thinks they will be. Jay thinks they won't. I tend to think they will be, but I'm not confident enough to go crazy.
I think they will be.
I think they will be.
That's kind of where I'm at, too.
Do you think there will be scrums, or do you think everyone will come to the podium? This is September.
Going the problem.
Well, August when camp starts.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Mississippi rules matter, but not really. This is going to be SEC mandate.
Yeah.
So, frankly, it's up to a lot of other states to kind of open up and get moving a little bit here. I mean, it's the problem we're running into right now. Of even though Mississippi is completely open from a mask standpoint, from a social distancing standpoint, not enough SEC baseball states are open to relax our Zoom rules, and they do not believe they will be relaxed at any point this baseball season. Maybe some head coach availability at some point, but from a student-athlete standpoint, probably not at all.
Yeah.
Because right now it's only 3 schools. It's Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and A&M. So you're going to need more states go that direction for there to be an in-person segment of an interview process.
So we talked about this on Soft Verbal. There's a growing rumor. So I don't think it's rumor anymore. I think it's actively being discussed that the dead period will end on May 31st at midnight.
Okay.
And a quiet period will begin. So people say, what does that mean? A quiet period means kids can come to campus and you can have in-person contact on campus. coaches can't go out.
Correct, yes.
But the summer's always been a quiet period.
Yeah, that's actually normal.
The question will be, come September, October, does it become a live period again?
Right.
And I think. But again, that's not going to be a state thing. That's going to be a national thing.
And
who knows?
Because that can't be a league thing. That has to be an NCAA thing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
State's got to get really busy.
People ask me all the time, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I mean, I think it's close to normal from a media standpoint. We're not talking about fans and stands. We're talking about media access. I think it's close to normal in the fall, but I don't think it's completely normal.
No, I don't either.
I don't think it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in person. I don't think we're hanging out on the practice field. I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't. I think we're going to get some.
I think there's an argument that some of the Tuesday, Wednesday stuff is Zoom for perpetuity, even in a normal environment.
Oh, I do too.
I think that's possible.
I think it's really possible. In fact, I think it's likely.
There's going to be a fight in that direction for people wanting it. Anyone who's not local.
And I think another thing that's going to happen to take away some of the crowds from press boxes, I think visiting coaches are going to do Zoom calls post-game.
I do too. Yeah, I do.
To try to discourage visiting media from making the trip to Auburn or to College Station or Baton Rouge or whatnot.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Brett asked, when is normal? I don't know.
It's getting a little more normal every day.
I think he means when does it go back to pre-pandemic from a media standpoint? I'm with
from
Chasey.
A strictly media standpoint, I don't
think it ever does.
I think there's been a shift to some degree. I think game days are in person, home teams.
Yeah.
And I guess visitor too if you're actually there, but whatever.
I think they're going to discourage it.
But I don't think they're going to prevent media from traveling.
They won't forbid it.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do everything they can to lessen it. Because I think they're going to want to make press boxes less crowded.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want to have fewer people on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Truth is, they saw what it was like this year with fewer people on the sidelines, and they liked it.
Yeah. So there will be some adjustments in those areas for sure. Then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But nonetheless, hopefully the weather handles things well tomorrow. We have a podcast for you. We'll update you all everywhere we can as that develops one way or the other to let you know what's going on and when to expect us. And either way, we'll talk to you again this week. Again, Ole Miss, Louisiana Tech tonight, 6 o'clock for baseball from Ruston. And then Ole Miss, Louisiana Tech, NIT basketball Friday night from Texas, 8:30, I believe.
When's the women's NIT start, do you know?
They play Sanford, but I don't know what day it is.
I would have thought you'd have that in your piece.
Neal will have complete coverage of that and more coming up here at rebelgrove.com. So have a good day. Be safe. Enjoy your afternoon, and we'll talk to you again very soon.